So customer dimension we have. So let's we have other option to work with MDX instead of directly working in MDX SSMS management studio. We have other simple studio which is MDX. It's the MDX studio Mosha. There are some benefits where you can see some internal details of your MDX query when you work with this. So in advance I will show you how to work with this tool and what are the benefits of working with this. I mean, I will tell you at the end of the meeting or when there is a requirement. Okay, similar like SSAS Microsoft Management Studio MDX Creator. Here also you will see the same structure. And apart from that, you will see differentiate parts T. You have also debug option where so if you write some batch some MDX query, you can debug it, and you can enable the profiler. In fact, the intelligence also support. Like if you write select, you will intelligence also support it, and which is not available in default Microsoft Query MDX Query. However, we'll work with this. So let's go with our first MDX query. Similar like SQL Server, here also we do have three statements: select and from. And if you see in SQL Server, you write the table name, but in MDX cube creator always you write the cube cube name, drag and drop it. This is always cube. You cannot give any individual dimensions or measure tables or dimension tables here. So on top of it you will have access, which I will show you later. So now that's it. This is the simple MDX query, and if you run it, we'll see what will happen. So you get the some numbers and messages. If you see, so one row one columns done formatting and execution complete. In results, you will see some number over it. So in cube, what is the number? What is the number? You don't have any idea, right? Is the number aggregation of all measures across all dimensions. It is the global total. You can say in Excel you will see subtotal and grand total, right? It's a grand total or global total, complete aggregation value of all dimensions across all dimensions of defaulted measure. This value is defaulted to one measure. See, these are all measures, right? We have these are all measures. Each of these dimensions we have designed mapped to measure. Maybe 6 dimensions are mapped to this measure. So unlike before, we have to make it one measure default. Any of the we have multiple measures, right? We have multiple measures. One measure we have to make it default. So this is the default measure value across aggregation of across all dimensions. So that if you click on it, you will see some basic information like this is the coordinate value, this is the value, this is the format value. You don't see any much information of that. So it's a simple MDX query. Select from cube name, you get the some measure value. So as I said that this value is one measure value default, which is defaulted and across all dimensions which are mapped to that particular measure. Let's find out what is that measure. So we have many measures, right? So we need to find out that to which measure this value is associated. So we'll check that. So in MDX, as I said that there are axes 0, axis 1. So before that I'm creating a simple member. These are all members. You see, if you take this is the dimension, this is the attributes, or this is the members attribute. These are the attribute members. Like this, if you see, this is the member. Similarly, I'm creating one more temporary measure member. So which is measures, similar like this, which you can give any other name, but generally it's a good practice to put it under measures, any members. So member, this is the syntax to create a new member. Our aim is to find out find out which measure is defaulted in this cube, which measure is defaulted to cube. Dot, we have to give dot. So under measures we are creating one more member, defaulted member. Let's give dm, and as is the default syntax, this is the syntax for creating new member. And uh, measures, so these are all measures we'll trying to discuss now. There's a simple keyword, default member. Measure the default member means these are across all measures, among all these measures, what is the default member. So let's go to, so now we need to display it in column. We have rows and columns, right? If you take any table, we have tables and columns. So let's display this this default member on columns. So what we have to do, we have to copy it. This is just we have created, right? No one, what where we want to display on columns. So in MDX, actual syntax is select access 0, access 1 from cube name. This is the default syntax, basic syntax. I can say columns and rows, or you can mention it as 0, you can mention it as 1. You can type here as rows, or 0 means columns, 1 means rows. So I want to display default member on column. Okay, this is the default syntax. So let's run it. So you see, still you are seeing the value, still you didn't get name of that value, because default member value it is returning, it is not returning the name of that default member. Let's know that what we'll do is name, default member we want name. So now run it. Reseller sales amount, now you got what you got, reseller sales amount measure. Do you have a reseller sales amount in our measures? Let's find it. Maybe it could be here, reseller sales, expand it, reseller sales amount here, reseller sales amount, and reseller sales amount value is default. This is the default measure. We have to give go in between two statements so that it will work. So we don't have, right? So let's remove it, our first query. So reseller sales amount, reseller sales amount, which is first query, and this value is 80. So let's find out, is it true or false. So we have our second query. In our query, it is identical result to our first query. Let's say that we'll filter out the value using this defaulted measure, which is reseller sales amount. So we'll see will it work or not. Right, again let's write it, select start from, advanced works. So reseller sales amount, right? Reseller sales amount, we want only reseller sales amount value, we don't want all the cubes, just drag and drop. So will it work? So similar like SQL Server, we have to give where condition. Let's run it. We have reseller sales amount value. Now see our default measure is reseller sales amount. So 80, 450 and 596 value is the reseller sales amount measure value. And now you see we have sliced, we have filtered out reseller amount of this cube. We want to display this measure value across all dimensions, so which is same. So our query, our assumption was correct. So please note that in MDX where clause is called slicer, X slicer, because reseller sales amount is the default measure and the where clause is not necessary, but it does make the MDX more explicit. Maybe it would be nice to see this labeled as reseller sales, so you can label however you want using that member. Okay, now we got the reseller sales amount. Now I want I want some different measure value across all dimensions. How would you get? This is the requirement. Your requirement is I want now not the reseller sales amount. Now I want let's say internet sales amount value. I want internet sales amount across all values. So total aggregation of all related measures value should display for internet sales amount. So now we are going to slice with internet sales amount. Let's copy it. Very simple query. Previously we sliced with reseller sales amount. Now what we'll do is internet sales amount. It's better to drag and drop instead of typing. I hate typing, but it gives. Now let's run it. So our fourth query is internet sales amount. So our default is reseller sales amount. Now results see 8450. So 8450, even if you slice with reseller sales amount, in our last query we sliced with internet sales amount, which is different, value is different. Internet sales amount value is different and a reseller sales amount is different. So now we got the internet sales amount value, which is a simple query requirement that we met. Now we have seen four different queries with four different values. Three different values, two different values are identical, and fifth query gave the different value, which is internet sales amount. Now I want this internet sales amount on column, and I want to display the internet sales amount column. How would we do it? Type it. So let's remove this slicer where condition and go here and type it. As I said that I want to display on 0, means access column access. Now type it, run it. This is the fifth query. So internet sales amount has been displayed in fourth query. So the difference is this one. So which is meaningful, right? Which is meaningful. Now we have internet sales amount on column which is on 0. Even if you give on columns, which is both are different, both are same. Let's run it on columns. So it gave the same result, internet sales amount. But if you want to display on rows, will it work? It should give error because column mentioning is very much important. So in that case you just can't display internet sales amount on rows. You can do it, but in order to do that you have to mention the on syntax columns, some empty blank, and you have to give comma. Let's run it. Now you got the internet sales amount you have displayed, but on rows nothing has been displayed on column because it's not defaulted. But if you say what will happen? Oh, same. So it's not defaulting to, because internet sales amount, reseller sales amount you have given on column, but rows, but on columns what to display which you didn't mention. So it has nothing displayed.